Hi, and welcome back to the Million Dollar Event podcast. I'm your host, Jami Johnson. Today, we're going to talk about what does it mean to host a high-end event. Now, this could be a retreat, this could be a conference. Either way, this is considered a high-ticket, must-be-at event, and how does that stand out from like a boring, basic event? And I'm going to use the term event loosely because obviously I'm talking about both retreats and conferences. And I don't want to have to like constantly say retreats and conferences. You know what I mean? Also, before I forget, if you find value in today's episode, be sure to screenshot it and share it to your IG stories and tag me Retreats with Jami J because I would love to hear from you. Without further ado, what does it mean to host a high-end event? What that means to me is that not only does it cost more money, obviously, but also that means that you are taking a white glove approach to your event. So, what that could look like and what that looks like for me is once an attendee or a prospective person who might want to join your event hits a landing page, and that landing page is thoughtful, it's curated, it's designed, it has been purposefully created for the event by a professional. Every single event experience starts with the landing page. From the landing page, the checkout process should be automated. It should be clear what they get. The details should be there, and everything should pop off as expected. And when I think about a high-end event, it goes landing page, checkout cart, automatic email with an onboarding email telling the attendee what they purchased, how they can expect to interact with you up until the event, and then any kind of details that they need to know. That do they have to purchase their hotel room? Do you have a sleeping room block? Do you have like a preferred transportation to and from the airport? Is there like a Facebook group or a way to connect with other attendees? Like that should be pre-planned, automated. If there's a contract, they should get that in the onboarding email or with the onboarding package. They should not ever have to go looking for information. Now, if something hasn't been decided yet, that's a different story. You can say, the sleeping room block will be decided and posted on this date. The preferred transportation will be posted on this date. Like, if it's not decided yet, that's okay too, but like, let them know it's coming. And if you have like a Q&A session, be sure to say, hey, the date for this Q&A session hasn't been decided yet, but we will let you know when that happens. Like, you just need to touch base with them. Okay, so after this onboarding process has happened, I would expect some sort of dedicated private group to attendees. And so you, as the host or your assistant, needs to be in there hyping people up, getting people to introduce themselves. You want them to engage with each other. If they have questions, they can put it in there and you can respond back, or your event planner can respond back to them there. There should be no reason that anybody, like, people struggle to communicate with you. Like, this falls flat all the time. Okay, so after the Q&A session, after, like, once people have arrived to the destination, the expectation is that it's easy for them to check in. It's easy for them to know what comes next. They have a timeline, and it's called in the event world run of show. But what that means is that they have an agenda and they know exactly what times all the events are happening, where it is, meaning the room. If it's a retreat, then the house address, or like a rundown of what they're doing every single day. There should be no confusion about what time they need to be where. And if there's a dress code, then they need to know that too, obviously. I expect for a retreat, all the meals to be thoughtfully planned and healthy. I expect for a conference that if meals are included, that they are boldly stated on the agenda so that way people know how to budget for the experience. They should know that before they get to the retreat or the conference. At any given point during the event experience, they should have a touch point with a planner, the host at some point, like thanking them for arriving. I love when there's event apps and especially for conferences, and you can send a mass message, like thanking them for arriving, reminding them what to be where, and then also every night I do like a little recap of what happened during the day, if they have homework or not for the next day, and then I also give the next day's instructions on what they need to have with them, what time the transportation's coming or what time we're kicking off, where we're kicking off, and like what the next day's sessions look like. So that way that they're prepared with either a journal, a swimsuit, they know that they're not going to be going back to the room all day, like all the things like that. Because people just need that extra reminder, and it's that white glove service that a lot of people fall short on. As for conferences and retreats both, I think having unlimited coffee, tea, water is a must. Now, alcohol is optional. I am exploring sober curious. I honestly don't think either of these experiences need alcohol. Like, I just don't. Now, I know that some people are more comfortable with a cocktail or, a glass of champagne or something upon arrival. It does help break the ice faster and loosen people up, but there is a line where it's like, too much of a good thing. As entrepreneurs, I don't think you need alcohol at the event. Now, if you're at a hotel and you have a bar, like let them go get a drink. It doesn't matter. But you don't have to provide it. I do recommend providing snacks and food in abundance in that way. That way people are never guessing or never hungry, and they know exactly what they're getting and what to plan for. I also consider a white glove event service is event feedback. Now, I don't recommend sending feedback every day because that becomes too overwhelming, but I do recommend the day of the event ending that some sort of feedback goes out, asking for written feedback and written testimonials. You need to go heavy on content marketing. You need to go heavy on both short form video, long form video, written testimonials, video testimonials, and photographs. It is almost non-negotiable in today's world, especially if you are charging $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 for your retreat. They need to know what they're getting into and what that looks like. And the more close, as close as you can present what you're delivering, the more people are willing to just throw their credit card at you. And that's what you want as a high-end coach offering high-end events. When it comes to swag and when it comes to gifting, for high-end events, I agree that there needs to be some sort of gift involved. Whether that's like a branded canvas bag. I love journals and pens because people need to take notes and meditate and journal afterwards to integrate the experience. But I do think quality matters. When you are purchasing gifts for your retreat or your conference, intentionality is everything. So if you're giving like a piece of shit notebook that doesn't feel good, that tactileness matters. If the pen doesn't write or doesn't or the diamond falls out or, it breaks halfway through, that matters. Instead of quantity, you want to focus on quality. And that might mean each journal is $15, $17. That might mean pens are $5 a piece. I'd rather you gift them tools that they are going to use during the experience that are quality than handing them a bunch of crap that's going to break or they're going to throw away afterwards. And when you think about a high quality event and a high end event, you want people to feel good. You want people to feel like rock stars. And that also includes adding in all 5 senses. In order to become unforgettable, you need to provoke and set into all 5 senses. With its taste, it's with the food, the quality, high quality food, intentional food. You probably want to have a signature scent. That way, anytime someone smells it, they think about you, your experience, their experience, how much fun they had. When they touch things, it matters because they're going to remember how things feel. Whether that's a robe, that's a journal, that's the couch. If it's has anybody sat in a conference room for 8 hours and the chair just became unbearably uncomfortable? That's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember if the hotel is shitty. They're going to remember the carpet. Maybe not the carpet, but the lighting, and if you feel like you're in a basement, they're going to remember that. And we're trying to create positive reinforcement and positive experiences. That's how high end is. So you want to make sure that you're pulling in all the senses and it's thought of with intention. When it comes to sight, is the retreat villa beautiful? Does it have beautiful views? Do they feel luxurious? For a conference, how's the stage set up? Is there good lighting? Does it look high-end and luxurious? Can people film content there? Because if we're all entrepreneurs and we're creating businesses, then we're going to want to grab content for ourselves. And you're going to want them to grab content of them at the event to promote your event. Because you want people to be like, I have to be there next year, right? So how things look matters. Next one is hearing. Can they hear you? So at a conference, this is especially important. Are the speakers constantly popping because you don't have the right sound equipment? Which is so true. Do your speakers have microphones? Because that's been a thing that I found out trying to deprogram or reprogram some of my clients who haven't had event planners before. They're like, oh, the speakers can just yell. It's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine. You want everyone to feel like they're in the room and that they matter. And that is providing quality sound. Do they have music? Does your event have a soundtrack or a playlist that people can pull up on Spotify and listen to get inspired after the retreat? These are songs that people walk out to, the speaker walks out to, maybe that you play in between sessions. All of that matters. Now, one of my clients, we had a retreat and we had a sexy dance instructor come in because we were working on playful energy and being sensuous and feeling ourselves. And so we had a schmexy dance instructor come in. And so that song, named Goddess, became the anthem of the retreat. And then we played it again at the third retreat on the boat. So we incorporated music and song and thought in the through line of the event. The words matter also, what comes out of your mouth as the host. You want to make sure that you're providing a safe, seen, and heard environment that people feel comfortable and confident in. This isn't mean girl energy, but you want to make sure to avoid it because after all, they're there for you. And when you get, especially with a conference, when you get 300 or 400 people, inevitably there's going to be people that don't get along, but that's okay because there's 400 other people there. But when you're in a small, intimate group, it's really important that you kind of vet them to make sure that the right energy is in the space because one person can throw the entire energy of the space off. So being very intentional about who you let in matters. So to recap this in a beautifully packaged bow, having a high-end event starts with the landing page, starts with the marketing material, and then goes through the end of the event. Every single piece of content, every single email, every single social media post, every single Q&A section, every single bit should be curated with intentionality and thought. You can't just guess your way through hosting a high-end event. When you guess your way and you don't allocate enough time, you will inevitably create a very basic event, and you will also create an event that people aren't necessarily going to classify as unforgettable. And you want your event to be thoughtful and thought of as unforgettable. If you found this episode valuable, go ahead and take a screenshot, share it to Instagram, tag me Retreats with Jami J, and I would love to hear from you. Until next time.